Have I been here before? Is this the area I ran through in the intro? It might be. This does kind of resemble the area where I fed on rats for the first time. A zone that I kind of thought was something I wouldn't come back to. This is it, isn't it? Yeah, this is right here is where I fed on the rats. Huh. Okay. Oh, hey, boat. There's a boat going by. Where am I right now? I'm on the path to the South Wark. Okay. That's the pit that I woke up in, isn't it? That's why that whole intro felt so linear and everything. You wake up there, you play through this little level right here where you loop around and go across this bridge, and then there's a whole open world up here. Maybe there'll be reason to go back there at some point, but right now I'm just getting really off course. And it probably won't pay off. It's interesting to see that there's just a whole part of the city where the level design is noticeably different. Because it's all setting up a different playstyle for a different zone.
A wave of bitter death to drown.
Well, you're someone I haven't met.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reid. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
Nope. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. That's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Do you require medical assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in fact.
I don't know which kind of doctor you're used to dealing with, but it's a doctor's purpose to heal people.
And is it your purpose as well, Mr. Reid? I would say it's a convenient way for gaining people's trust.
Any chance you can help me find Sean Hampton?
The sad saint. Why would you talk to that cunt?
Actually, that's confidential.
Really? Well, go ask someone else then. I'm sure Tom Watts will gladly answer you.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
To every night, a darkness.
Thanks for your help. I only healed your problem, but fuck me, right? Gave it to you for free and you won't answer a basic question. Gotta make just one of those make life difficult kind of people. Was I just in here, I think? Yeah, this is the connection back to going upstairs and crossing the bridge. Money. Shillings all around. I just casually find money lying around that's like half the trade-in value I get when I sell people a ring. That just seems totally out of whack. ha ha. The bloody necklace from Seymour to my beloved mother Stella. Oh.
From Seymour to my beloved mother Stella. Fishburne, that sneaky bastard. It's locked, all right.
Well, that was rather fast, wasn't it? Oh, there he is. Choose what to do with the Seymour Fishburne necklace. Bring it back to Seymour or give it to his mother Stella. I don't understand. This one makes more sense. It's a choice of give it to a relative or sell it. Is from Seymour to Stella. So bring it back to Seymour or give it to his mother. Am I missing something here? Beautiful necklace with bloodstains and a small handwritten tag. From Seymour to my beloved mother Stella. Seymour... He said that he lost the necklace and he wanted to give it to his mother, right? And that's what this says. Unless we're implying that he killed all these people or something? Like what? What did I miss here? What? Seymour, you sneaky bastard, he said. What? I'm not sure what's happening.
Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
I have retrieved the gift for your mother, sir.
Great. Give it here then and take this for your trouble.
I also found the corpses. The ones under which you left the necklace, Mr. Fishburne.
Ah, so that's where I left it. I can be a bit stupid sometimes.
As a man of science, I'd like to try to understand why you killed those people.
Why does there need to be a reason? They were just there. It happened. That's all.
You're not a mindless animal, Seymour. Surely you have something to say about these murders. Speak up and I will listen without judgment.
Could be right, Dr. Reid. Maybe it'll do some good to confide in a gentleman like you. You being educated and all.
Tell me about your victims, Seymour. Who were they? Why them? Was there a link?
Why should there be? They just kept getting on my nerves at the worst times, that's all.
How many? How many victims?
It's not like I keep records. It happens when it happens.
You feel nothing, do you? No empathy for your victims at all?
You seem pretty calm yourself, don't you?
We're not talking about me.
That right? Well, our calm's the only thing we have in common then.
Did you take pleasure in killing them, Seymour? All those people, all those lives extinguished.
I take no pleasure from it. Just gives me peace. Stills the anger. For a time.
This rage you feel, have you ever been able to control it? Resist it?
I tried. For my mum, I tried for her. Telling the truth made me feel better. For a while.
Don't you think you should seek help? Talk to someone you trust, someone who cares about you.
No. And don't dare speak about me to your colleagues either. Keep your mouth shut tight. Especially about my mum.
Why is your mother protecting you, Seymour?
I'm her son. She's the only one who knows me. Sometimes I think she knows me better than I know myself.
I understand you love her, but can't you see the awful situation you've put her in?
Do you think my mum would have a better life if I were dead? She seems so sad to know me sometimes.
I understand your mother's situation. Obtaining justice at the price of betraying her own flesh. It's quite a dilemma.
It might be my mum's wish that I end up swinging from a hangman's noose, but she wouldn't want to be the one who ties a knot round my neck.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Oh, it's certainly tempting. So I was a little confused because, yeah, there's the bodies and everything, which, I don't know. I don't find the evidence as conclusive. Well, I mean, until he admitted to it. It's like, it could have been that somebody stole the necklace, but then died the way that so many people die in this game. That, like, people just die. They didn't have to be, he didn't have to be the murderer, but he just outright admits it immediately, so I guess there's not really that much of a, there's not really much concern about whether or not we're accusing the wrong person here at this point. Opened up. Oh, I wasn't really unlocking it though, was I? So, yeah, I guess if you're just gonna admit it, that's that. But at the time, I was like, oh look, I found his necklace and a pile of bodies, which are everywhere all the time. So like, I wasn't even assuming he killed them. They could have just been a thief that died. But now I'm pretty tempted to kill him because he is definitely just in the casual murder territory. So if I'm going to play this like as if I'm somebody who needs to feed, which I'm just kind of playing this game like I am a vampire that has to feed, because I think it's really boring how the game doesn't actually require you to do it. Then he's someone that I think Reid would go after. But he can't yet because of mesmerization level. I need one more point. And that's something I don't have direct control over, or I do, in that I just continue the main story until it happens. We'll keep an eye out for him. I also need to talk to his mother to find out what there is that needs to be learned. There's some detail missing. There's a whole basement down there I can get to, apparently. He's probably right. The mother probably feels guilty and probably wants him to die. And is probably just waiting for it to happen for some level of relief, but it's all mixed emotions, because of course they don't want their own son to die. But also their son's a monster that has to be stopped, but they can't do it. So you just have this background thing. It's like when you hear about a criminal that, like, they're like relieved when it's finally over because they've finally been caught, and they've kind of wanted to be caught, but that doesn't mean that they'll turn themselves in.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the dogs.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough.
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
You should be careful, Rufus. There are things that lurk in the shadows of this city. Things that prey on the lonely and the desperate.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Do you know a man who lives in this part of town? A man named Sean Hampton. I'm looking for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't know a lot of folks around here. Most prefer to avoid me.
Well, I don't think you should talk to him. He may be very sick.
Thanks for the tip. You might want to check the Turquoise Turtle. It's a pub not far from here. The barkeep knows everyone in these parts.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
Right, I forgot to take a look. Just for usual curiosity. Level 2, only 1 out of the 4 hints though. So they're all with one circle. 1 continuous circle. And 2 sons that have both been treated for their diseases. So it seems like Stella's probably feeling guilty over the darkness that Seymour brings to the city. So she's probably like sort of adopting another son to sort of make up for it. And that's why she's so kind to him specifically. Is that the basement I saw before? That seems like the most likely explanation. And so he's replacing a mother he never had, and she's replacing the son that she's ashamed of. And there she is, cleaning that window, I think, this entire time.
Some call this the bad part of town. Well, I've lived in...
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reid. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in? I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worry. So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
This game will let you eat her sooner than the sun. Jeez.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope Factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum in exchange for food.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Your son's gone way beyond simply bullying people. He has a taste for blood, and you know it, don't you, Stella?
One night, he told me straight up, in his own words. It was several days after one of his episodes.
Why did he confess? Did you suspect something?
No. I guess he wanted his old mum to help him fight his, demons.
Did Seymour tell you everything that night?
More than I could stand. The words he used to describe his hate, his rage, how he feels when he's done it.
Stella, I know you are ashamed of your son's crimes. So why do you protect Seymour?
I can't report my own son, can I? Not a burden I could bear.
Burden? How do you mean?
They'd hang him for sure. I won't send my only son to his death.
The situation will only get worse. Someone has to stop Seymour.
If someone ever found the courage to speak to the police, I will take my share.
Tell me about these demons Seymour needs your help to fight.
Seymour used to be such a happy child, and he is still a helping son most of the time. But when he gets angry, he can hardly contain his rage.
All men and women are born innocent, Mrs. Fishburne. But there can be a monster within any of us.
Do you think he can be cured, Doctor? Do you think something can extinguish this rage inside my Seymour?
Science has only just begun to investigate the mysteries of the human mind. Currently, we have more assumptions than fact.
There ain't no hope then. Somehow, somewhere, my son has turned into a monster, and nothing will bring him back.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the sad saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburne.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is. But if you ask around, I'm sure you'll get your answer.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
Try not to burn any more fish while I'm gone.
It's locked.
Please don't stay too long, sir.
I'm just gonna pilfer your house of resources, don't worry. Oh wait, that's exactly what you should worry about, actually. Don't worry, keep tending that stew. It would crush her to lose her son, probably, but the killings would stop. Although this place is so fucked that the idea of even trying to save it seems like a moot point. And there he is being creepy. There's both of them. This whole circle. Oh look, you can see the train up there. One brief chance to glimpse it. I even saw the engine. But she'd have less to take care of. Maybe just the food from the asylum volunteer work would be enough to sustain her, as opposed to the work that she would lose from her son being gone. Well, no way to find out. Well, one way to find out. I feel like my experience is growing way faster this session. I guess it's just scaling. Is this the same dock I already ran down? Yes. Right, that's I turned that way to go meet with her, and that's the skip across that I saw. But that takes me to the Western Docks, which I could go to, but let's stick to the docks for now. Until I feel I've fully explored it and met a bunch of people. And hopefully soon I'll talk to Hampton and reach level 3 mesmerization so I can destroy the murder man. Because I think I'm committing to that. I also think I may have just discovered his last secret. No, not yet. He still has another secret that's waiting. Maybe in their time of need, Rufus will rise up to help his grieving adopted mother over what's happened, and then they'll be stronger for it. He doesn't... It's rough because, yeah, he doesn't even justify what he's doing. He's just clearly mentally ill. And I don't think this entire era is equipped to deal with him. Uh-oh. Another body.
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth, claws, murders by night? Your sewer dog is my business. He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady.
He keeps gesturing like, look at my badge that I'm not wearing. A man that's actually named Ichabod.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
I seem to think that you are an additional fraud in a town full of frauds. Or at least you're not very good at this, apparently.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Right, that's one thing I do need to keep in mind is a reason why we see so many more like vampire hunters and vampires and monsters, and not a lot of humans going around besides the cast of that you see on that one tree, basically. And that it's like much like the hunt in Bloodborne. This game takes place during the night, and everybody is out doing the hunt, and all the normal people are sort of shut in their houses. So there could be considerably more people around than it seems, just because it is the middle of the night, which is easy to forget when that's the only time you ever get to be in the game.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks.
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
I would maybe don't say funny thing is after molested in any context.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
Can't wait to find out how much of a vampire hunter you truly are when I hunt you.